Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm Kate Chapman, and this is the 4 Secrets of Co-Parenting Success. I am thrilled to be spending time with you today, and we'll get started in just a second as folks join. In the meantime, I would love for you to tell me if you can see the title slide and hear me. Over on the right-hand side of your screen is a little red rectangle with 3 dots. That opens a chat window. If you can open that up and let me know if you can hear me, that would be terrific. I just need a select few of you, not everyone, but that would get us started today. Terrific. Looks like folks can hear and see. You can minimize that chat window, and that lets the presentation take up the full screen. You just click on that red rectangle. Let's get started. I am thrilled to be spending time with you today. I am really excited to share the 4 secrets of co-parenting success, and actually we'll be talking about much more today. We're going to be talking about why co-parenting matters to begin with, what the 4 secrets are that will change your reality for good, and how you can take today's free learning and keep learning to make sure you create permanent, sustainable, positive change in your co-parenting relationship. Thank you for joining. I'm thrilled to have you here. A couple of notes as we get started. First, I'd like you to log out of any other applications you may have open. Grab something to write with and on. We do try to record this webinar, but occasionally my AV skills are not the best. And so I'd hate to have you miss something that you really wanted to learn because the recording functionality isn't working. So please feel free to grab something to write with and on. Get comfortable. I am really respectful of your time. So we'll be here about 45 minutes to an hour, and I'll keep us moving through this information. But it is really rich. It is a ton of information. And so you want to be ready to learn that together. You are in the right place. If you are tired of constant divorce drama, if you're ready to claim your co-parenting piece to move forward in a way that's positive and sustaining to your kids, this is the right spot. If you're open to learning new information, you're willing to try something different, this is the right place, and I think you're going to get a ton out of today. If, however, you're looking for someone to change your reality for you, you are not in the right spot. I am a really great coach. I am a co-parenting expert, but I am not a magician. I can't wave a magic wand and do this work for you or change your partner. If you're using kids to keep score in your relationship, if you'd rather be right than happy, if you are unwilling to change your thinking, this is not the spot for you. Now, it's really unlikely that you would sign up for a webinar on co-parenting if you're any of those things, but I like to get that out in the open. This webinar is focused on folks who want to make a positive, lasting change in their co-parenting relationship. And the terrific news is it's entirely possible. Here's what you'll learn today. You'll learn what the latest in co-parenting research says about parenting time. We're going to spend a little time on why co-parenting is important, because that helps cement your motivation. We're going to talk about what you might be doing that could hurt your kids and how to change it fast. I know none of you would ever want to do that. I certainly would never want to hurt my kids. But sometimes in this co-parenting stickiness, we do things that we don't realize the impact of. You'll learn 4 simple, proven secrets to co-parenting success. I can't stress this enough. These 4 secrets are game-changing. They will create a new co-parenting reality for you, and they are simple. And you'll also learn how to co-parent with an unwilling or absent ex, and again, lots more. We are chock full of information in the next about 45 minutes, and I think you're going to get a ton out of it. So let's get started. We are just beginning together today. That's an important point to call out here. Beginning in the beginning. Rome wasn't built in a day, Oprah's empire wasn't built in a day, and neither is a strong co-parenting relationship. I want to be really honest about that. This webinar contains the foundational secrets of strong co-parenting. These are the secrets I've learned in years of research, in years of working with co-parents, but it only scratches the surface. Near the end, I'm going to share options for you on how you can continue to change, how you can cement what you learned today and bring it forward. So you want to make sure you're staying there so you don't just sort of hit this and forget it. That said, some of those options come at a cost and some of them don't. Before you get concerned about that, though, let's see what you think about what you're getting for free today, because it's really important to me to create lots of resources for co-parents. I want to create a co-parenting revolution, and this is part of that. So this webinar has tons of free information, and I want you entirely focused on it as we go through that conversation. That said, there are really great things in store for those who stay for the full discussion. So stick around. We've got great options for you at the end, and we have really terrific information for you as you go through. I would love for you to talk to me. I'm interested. What is your biggest co-parenting challenge? Is it your partner? Is it your emotions? What is it that you really struggle with? Right now, you'll see a poll pop up in the right side of your screen. And I would love for you to let me know what your biggest challenges are. Is it your partner? Is it your emotions? Is it parenting style differences, that what happens at one house is really different than the other? Or is it something else entirely? I'll leave that poll up and give you a second to answer, but I really want to make sure that today's conversation is tailored to your challenge. And so knowing what your biggest co-parenting challenge is really important to me. But the truth is, if you had asked me years ago what my biggest co-parenting challenge was, I wouldn't have been able to tell you. It might have been all four of those and a bucket of rocks. I was challenged everywhere I turned. The truth is, co-parenting once seemed totally impossible to me. I imagine that's where you are too. It seemed like I was running into brick walls, like I was slamming my head against them. I couldn't figure it out. My ex and I could barely speak to each other. Custody exchanges were tense. We couldn't speak when we had to sit next to each other at school. I was volatile and overwhelmed by emotion, and so was he. We were getting this wrong over and over and over again. And those three sweet kiddos in that picture, they were paying the price. I couldn't find help anywhere for positive co-parenting, and I knew where to look. I'm a trained coach focused on change management. I've spent more than 15 years helping huge companies, Fortune 100 companies, manage change. I've sat side by side senior leaders as they think about how to talk about change, how to navigate their own emotions through it, how to bring other people through change. I knew all about it. I studied psychology and sociology. I have a dual degree. I should know how to do this. But the truth was, resources were scarce and good ones were nearly impossible to find. Impossible to find. Sure, I could find a bunch of websites or message boards back in the day where I could bitch about my ex, where people would jump in and say, oh yeah, that's awful. Oh yeah, me too. And we could try to top the bad ex story. But real substantive help? Nah, that was nowhere to be found. I couldn't find anyone who said, why don't you try this? Or have you thought about this? Or here's something that really works. And I felt totally alone. The truth is, I had to start my journey really slowly. I read everything I could get my hands on, even really dense, really scholarly articles. I studied divorce, co-parenting, blended families. I applied my professional knowledge about change. what I knew to be true about change to the co-parenting challenges I faced. Today, I am a widely published author and a co-parenting expert. I write for publications all over the web. You may have seen my work on the Huffington Post, on Today Parenting Team, on Scary Mommy, DivorcedMoms.com, Step Parent Magazine, Stepmom Magazine, and more. I work all over the web sharing what I've learned about co-parenting, and people started to seek me out. Co-parenting is my jam. This is what I do. This is what I've focused the last several years on. I founded a site called This Life in Progress. It's an award-winning community for divorced parents and blended families. You probably have been there, and I'm delighted to have you here at the webinar. If you haven't been there, I encourage you to check it out. It is a rich, deep site filled with free resources for divorced parents and blended families. Hundreds of articles, lots of resources, free downloads, lots and lots of information for parents parenting after what I call the first family. I created a comprehensive, proven co-parenting curriculum. That means that I took all this mess of how to co-parent and turned it into a system that works, that delivers peace. And I did that with private clients. I did that with myself. And I do that in a different way today. That curriculum has been heralded a game changer by mental health professionals. A game changer. I teach people how to co-parent. I share my learning with thousands, helping co-parents around the world end their drama and claim their peace. I am in the fortunate position of getting letters from people all over, from Dubai, from Australia, from Great Britain, from Portugal, from Brazil, from Chile, and yes, from the US and Canada and other places closer to my home, saying that I've helped them transform, and that is immensely gratifying to me. I am so happy to be able to share what I learned on my own journey with others and make this a little bit easier. Best of all, my co-parenting today, though, my reality, it's drama-free. I love that I've been able to share my learning with others and that it's helped them. But the thing that's most important to me is that my ex, my co-parenting partner now, and I have an amicable, productive relationship. It's not by accident. We worked hard at it independently. And we today are coming from a place of peace, and I can't tell you how great that feels. My stomach doesn't flip-flop when I see him. I'm not triggered by things he does. The kids are able to go between our houses and live their whole, full lives because our co-parenting reality today is drama-free. And that's not a word we use lightly. We've got teenagers together. There's very little in our life that is drama-free, let me tell you. But our co-parenting reality certainly is. And that is the biggest benefit I've gotten from my transformation from a single, worried, overwhelmed, stretched thin mama to the co-parenting expert I am today. Co-parenting success is possible. It is absolutely possible. You can do this. But I want to be really honest with you. I am not going to sell you oceanfront property in Arizona. This is not a sales pitch for the Golden Gate Bridge. If you know me, you know that being candid and honest is critically important to me. Co-parenting is messy and hard and really complicated. I know you know that. I can see your co-parenting challenges. We're about evenly divided between my partner and parenting style differences, but man, my emotions are right up there. Those seem to be the big three. We've got a couple of you who are on for something else. The good news is we're going to address all of those things today. You know this is tough. That's why you're here. That's why we're going to talk about the 4 secrets of success. But first, I want to talk about why co-parent at all. And I appreciate your patience with this. Why co-parent at all? I know that you're here because you know it's important, but I want to talk about why it's so critically important, why it matters. Because what I've found in working with my clients, what I know about your transformation is you've got to be really clear. You've got to be centered and focused on why you're doing this, because it's hard. It's messy and complicated. And it's easy to lose your way. I'm not a person who likes to do hard things just for fun. I'm not an adventurer. I'm not a mountain climber. I don't take 6 a.m. freezing cold showers just to punish myself. If something's hard, I'm going to do it for a really good reason. So let's talk about what is the really good reason that puts you in this chair today. What is the really good reason to stick with something when it is messy and complicated and churns your stomach? The simplest answer is co-parenting is what's best for your children. Studies repeatedly show that kids who have a strong, healthy bond with each parent perform better in school, experience less stress, and have fewer long-term negative emotional and physical health issues than children who don't. That blew my mind. They have fewer long-term negative emotional and physical health issues. Co-parenting can keep your kids healthy emotionally and physically when you uphold a strong, healthy bond with each parent. That study was from the Journal of Marriage and Divorce, I believe. Let me see. Yep, Journal of Divorce and Remarriage. I always get that name wrong. Volume 56, issue 5 in year 2017. But the truth is there are studies like that all over. They've been replicated again and again and again. Divorce is a wound that co-parenting helps heal. And I want to be straight with you here for a little bit. There are some people out there that talk about divorce pretty cavalierly. It's no big deal. It's a choice. Let's move forward. That is not where I come from. I agree that divorce is a deep wound. I also agree that it is necessary. In my personal story, I chose that wound for my children. Their dad chose that wound because what was lying ahead for us as a married couple, what we faced would have wounded them more significantly. And so it is a choice. It is a powerful one, and it is also a wound. But the research shows that long-term, children of divorce show similar levels of emotional health and stability to their peers when conflict and stress isn't present post-divorce. This isn't quick, right? This isn't in 3 months after your divorce, everybody's going to be hunky-dory. This is about 5 years later. Kids of divorce show similar levels of emotional health and stability to children of intact families when conflict and stress isn't present. What's another way of saying that? When co-parenting is working. If you're co-parenting effectively, the research shows that your kids will be on the same path as children of intact families within about 5 years. Co-parenting effectively supports a kid's sense of self. So think about when you were a kid. You probably identified some with one of your parents and some with another. So for me, I always really identified with my dad's kind of planning, list-making, pragmatic approach to problems. There was nothing that man couldn't do as long as he had a pencil and a paper and some time to figure it out. And I had that in me. But I also had my mom's party planning, her joy, her spontaneity. And I identified strongly with that too. As a kid growing up, I was both of those people, and I was proud of that. And my kids are both me and their dad. Your kids are a product of the best of the both of you. And a mistake that people often make is by not allowing that full child to the table in a co-parenting situation. So if I negatively talk about my partner, if I trash talk their dad, I'm trash talking them in their minds. If I say he's unreliable or he's not on time or he's not a planner, I may think I'm just blowing off steam, but my kids listening to that, and let's face it, they are always listening. Kids are omnipresent, checking your email, checking your phone, everywhere. They take that to heart and they think it's about them. Co-parenting effectively supports a kid's sense of self. It lets that child know that we love all of them. The other way co-parenting helps heal that divorce wound is parents who co-parent successfully model resilience and a growth mindset. Those are essential components of healthy adult development. Now, you probably have seen articles about growth mindset all over the web. It is a huge deal right now. Modeling co-parenting is a growth mindset. It shows a growth mindset. So what do I mean by that? What I mean is you and your co-parenting partner were once very much in love. Most of you, perhaps not all of you. You had a relationship. You had a child from that place. You can heal. You can forgive. You can be productive. There is no better example of a growth mindset. The idea that something is different than what it was, that where you are today doesn't have to be where you are tomorrow. That's critical for adult development, and co-parenting successfully is a terrific example of it. I want to stop here and give you a couple of quick pro tips based on some questions that I'm getting privately and also questions that I've gotten when I give this seminar before. The first is that co-parenting must be built on a foundation of safety. So if your children are in danger, if there is a dependent situation, if there is an abuse situation, you must involve the resources available to you to keep your child safe. That's paramount. That's first. If you or your child are unsafe, please involve the courts, social services, or other resources. Critically important. Guardian ad litems can help you. Schools can help you. And I'm always able to refer to where I think you might get help if children or parents are in danger. It's a duty I carry really seriously. Sometimes I get questions about parallel parenting. Parallel parenting means that both parents operate entirely independently. It's to limit conflict in high conflict situations. And I agree, it can accomplish many of the same outcomes as co-parenting, but the issue is it carries risks long term. Parallel parenting doesn't support that child's sense of full self that we were talking about, because often the parents are so separate that the kid starts to feel like they can't talk about mom at dad's house, or they can't talk about what they did with dad when they're visiting mom. So it's really critical that parallel parenting be thought of as a short-term solution. Another risk to parallel parenting long-term, your kid can start to manipulate the idea that there's no communication between parents. And that is a really tough thing. That's a really dangerous thing. So I support co-parenting clearly. I also support parallel parenting as a short-term stop on the way to a healthy, productive co-parenting relationship. So you get it. You get it even more now, probably. It's important and hard and complicated. How do you make it work? You're here because you've struggled. Well, you're not going to struggle any longer. Here's what you came for. These are the 4 secrets to co-parenting successfully. I'm going to give you a minute to take them in. These are the 4 things that are present in every co-parenting relationship I've seen that is functioning positively. The first is that co-parenting is a solo sport. The second is that great co-parents reframe their past and tell a new story. After years of research, I know that co-parenting well requires new behaviors, and that the very best co-parents put their interactions on autopilot. Co-parenting is a solo sport. What do I mean by that? Here's what people commonly define as co-parenting. It's a parenting situation where two or more adults work together to raise a child, even though they are not necessarily the biological parents living together or in a romantic relationship. On the surface, I get that. And there's a lot of things I like about this definition. It talks about two or more adults. It's inclusive of step-parents. That's really important to me. It calls out that there's no need for a biological relationship. Again, really important to me. But here's where I get stuck on this one. Here's where personally, for me, things broke down for a really long time. And that is this concept of two or more adults working together. Here's how that jumped up and bit me in my own experience. I worked through a lot of my emotion and I was ready to co-parent, but my partner was not. He just wasn't ready. He was still working through his stuff. So I felt like I was sitting at the co-parenting train station, unable to board the train, right? I wanted to get on. I wanted to do things differently, but this idea that co-parenting required two people trapped me. I was stuck. I felt like I couldn't do anything without him. And it wasn't until I redefined co-parenting, until I understood what co-parenting really meant, that I was empowered. Here's what co-parenting really means. It is one parent's decision to lift the other parent up, to support them and their relationship with the child, even if the other parent does not reciprocate. And even though the parents may not be the biological parents living together or in a romantic relationship, for the sole and singular sake of the child's health and well-being. So let's think back to the study I cited just a couple of minutes ago. Children do best when they have supported, healthy relationships with each parent. And so for us as parents, the best thing we can do is support those relationships. And so that's the real definition of co-parenting, is one parent's decision to support the other and their relationship with the child, no matter what the other parent is doing. Because that's what's best for that kid. That's what's best for that kid's long-term health and well-being. And that decision freed me. That redefining of co-parenting set me free. Because it meant that I, like you, had two options. Everybody listening today, everybody out there co-parenting has two options. You co-parent or you don't. Simple as that. You lift up the relationship the kid has with both parents. You make that relationship welcome, or you don't. The truth is, if you become a successful co-parent, if you can do this, your kid benefits. Your child benefits from lowered stress levels, a safe, conflict-free environment while they are in your home, and most importantly, in my opinion, knowing that you love and welcome every single part of him or her. If you can do this well, your kid wins, regardless of the other parent's choice, regardless of what they're doing. It doesn't matter. I agree with what you're thinking. Some of you are saying, yeah, Kate, but two is better than one. He won't do this, or she's a narcissist. And I'm stuck. I'm here to tell you, you are not stuck. You can decide to move forward on your own. Co-parenting is a solo sport. You're right. Two healthy co-parents are better than one. But the data shows that one co-parent is significantly better than none. If a kid can get away from conflict and anger in one place, if they've got a safe place to come, if they know that you support their relationship with the other parent, regardless of what the other parent is doing, they begin to win. So secret number one, co-parenting is a solo sport. You can't control your partner. You can't force someone to be present or reduce their level of conflict. Yeah, try telling your high conflict ex you'd like them to reduce the level of conflict. That always works. You control you, and you make the decision to co-parent or not. You are free. You are free. You can start to change today regardless of what your co-parenting partner does or doesn't do. The second secret is that great co-parents reframe their past. Successful co-parents, all the folks I've worked with who are getting this right, they look at their past and they think of their future. And they start by trying a new story on for size. When I work with clients, we work on who was your partner before? Who is she now? What was your commitment then and what is your commitment now? So for me, my partner before was my college sweetheart. He was the comedian in my life. My commitment to him was to raise a family together, to stand next to him until the day we died, or so I thought. It was to build something together as a family and to be partners to each other. But the guy who comes to my door now, he's something of equal importance, but it isn't about me. He comes to my door now and he is the parent. He is my teammate. My commitment now is to my children, not to him. My co-parenting commitment is to my kids. And it's about making sure that their relationship with their dad is healthy and whole and supported in my house. I'm not out there controlling what he does with them. I can't do that. That's impossible. But in my house, my kids know that I welcome the part of them that is their dad. That's my commitment to them. That I won't expose them to unnecessary strife or conflict, that I won't speak negatively about him, because my commitment to them is to uphold and support their healthy relationship with their dad. It has nothing to do with him. That commitment isn't to him. It's to those three little people on the picture. Not so little anymore. This changed for me when I realized that their dad was the only person alive who loved our kids as much as I did, as much as I do. The truth is, my kids are surrounded by love. We live in a small town. We've got extended family around. We have aunts and uncles and grandparents in and out all the time. They are incredibly fortunate children. That's something I didn't have growing up, and I'm so glad they've got it. But nobody loves them the way their parents do. And when I realized that, when I realized it was up to me to support that and encourage that bond, or to let that go, to get mired in my own stuckness about who he was or used to be to me and how angry I was about that, and eradicate that for them, man, that choice was easy. When I realized that I could be a hero and continue to support this for them, even though that person had hurt me, I could reframe that story and tell a new story for them. That's when he became my partner. Successful co-parents understand and accept their reality. They recognize grief and how to manage it. I work with my clients on really studying and understanding their grief. It's the reality of where they are. Something went wrong. It's different than what they expected. And managing that grief is incredibly important to positive co-parenting. Successful co-parents know that they have a long history, and that history often contains triggers. Your ex can drive you crazy simply because you know them well. You've experienced a ton. To successfully co-parent, you've got to command those triggers. You've got to know them and manage through them. You've got to have strategies in place. And you have to successfully explore your past. Look at your past and define a new future. That's what really terrific co-parents do. They reframe their past and begin to tell a new story. They don't dwell on what went wrong, but they don't pretend the past never happened. They're learning about themselves. They're telling a new story about their history and their partner, and they're charting a new productive path forward to what's possible in co-parenting. Secret number 3, co-parenting requires new behaviors. How many of you remember learning how to do this? Diapering a baby, swimming, riding a bike. Yeah, I don't know about you, but I had 2 little boys, and it took me a lot of practice before I stopped getting sprayed in the eye when I changed diapers. I started swimming in a triathlon a couple of years ago. I couldn't get my breathing right for the sake of all that is good under the heavens. I couldn't do it. I was gasping for breath. I was terrible at it. And the summer that I learned to ride a bike, I was 9 and my knees were skinned up the entire summer. All 3 of these things when I started, it was a hot mess. But I can do them now. Sometimes I even forget how hard it was. Co-parenting is like that. It's a new skill. You've got to learn it. Learning requires absorbing new information. And I'm going to go through some adult learning theory here. This is the coach in me coming out. This is the training, but I think it's important for you to know. In order to learn, in order to perfect a new skill, first you have to be exposed to new information. Second, you've got to practice over and over and over again. Third, adults have to reflect on progress. We have to be given time to think about what did we try and how did it go? And then we like to shift it. Adjusting our practices, adjusting our approach improves results. It was a game changer for me when learning to diaper a baby. I realized you open the new diaper under the old so you can swap them quickly. That was based on new information, practicing a different way, reflecting on it, and trying something new. Co-parenting is exactly the same way. Successful co-parents approach co-parenting as a learning experience, as something entirely new. And that's my pro tip for you in this section. Co-parenting isn't the same as parenting within a marriage. Period, end. It isn't the same. It's an entirely different rodeo. Remind yourself of that. Remember that. You're new at this. You've got to learn information. You've got to practice approaches, and you've got to reflect and try again when you fail. You are a beginner. That co-parenting requires new behaviors is the third secret. When co-parents approach this as a learning example, as a way to understand themselves differently, when they throw up their hands and say, I'm new, tell me how to do this. When they don't give up and remember that being expert takes time and patience, they are successful. Secret number 4, the best co-parents put their interactions on autopilot. Put their interactions on autopilot. What does that mean? Well, autopilot means they create healthy habits, rules by which they govern their life. They don't respond to inflammatory texts or emails as a rule. In fact, when I work with clients, I say, if you've got the kids upstairs safe in your bed, you don't need the phone. They're not going to wake up in the middle of the night and need the phone. They're going to come down and get you. Absolutely. When your kids are with their other parent, keep your phone near in case you're needed. But when they're not, Keep that phone out of your bedroom. Create a safe space. Don't respond to inflammatory texts or emails. Good co-parents are aware of triggers and manage accordingly. This is a huge one. You've got to know where your Achilles heel is. You've got to know what takes you from 0 to 60 in 2.1 seconds. Good co-parents know that and they manage accordingly. For me, I'm triggered by extended time with my ex. Extended time with my other parent makes me start feeling like I'm married to him again. All those things that used to jump on my last nerve start jumping. So I don't do 3 and 4 hours with him. We don't vacation together. That's not a successful model for us. You're not going to see us in t-shirts at Disney World. Dinners, birthdays, Christmas morning for us, absolutely happy to do it. Works well. I'm aware of my trigger and I manage accordingly. Great co-parents create a healthy habit around treating their partner as a business associate, the same way they would treat a teacher or treat a coach. This is someone who cares about your kids' success. Let's treat them accordingly. Good co-parents also create healthy habits around thinking long-term. They have an end state. They know what they want for their kid. And so that annoyance in the beginning, that annoyance sitting right in front of them, doesn't matter. They know what their big picture goal is. Good co-parents know when to halt. This is an example of a habit that I work with clients. HALT stands for hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. If you are, that's not the time for a tough co-parenting conversation. Clients who work with me make that habit. Hungry, angry, lonely, or tired? Let me check in. How am I feeling? Nope, I'm not ready. Let me fill my tank and get back to you. By forming healthy habits, co-parents take the emotion out of day-to-day interactions. And those interactions then go on autopilot, not co-pilot, they're co-parenting. I should call it co-piloting just for wordplay, right? Great co-parents don't react emotionally. They practice healthy habits to stay in control. If you want to change your co-parenting reality, you've got to form a set of positive habits. So I'd like you to let me know in the chat, over in that poll window again, which of the co-parenting secrets is most empowering to you? Which is it? Is it that co-parenting is a solo sport, that you're free? That great co-parents tell a new story? That to do this well, you've got to approach it as a beginner. It requires new behaviors. Or that the best co-parents put their interactions on autopilot. I'd love to know what you think. I'd love to know what you think is going to be the most powerful as you move forward today. Because the truth is, you showed up today ready to end the drama and claim your peace. You're tired of feeling like a beauty school dropout when it comes to co-parenting, and you want to change your child's future for the better. I get it. These secrets are the start of it. These 4 secrets are going to change your reality if you do nothing else. But what you do next can continue to turbocharge that change. You can take what you learn and do a couple of things with it. It's up to you. Those of you who stick around, as I talked about, and all of you are, so that's awesome. All of you who stick around are going to have a fast track easy button to this. But I want to walk you through what your options are. The first is you can take what you've learned today and you can begin to implement it in your day-to-day life. To do that, I want you to think about those principles we talked about for adult learning. Practice, reflection. Working independently gives you scheduling freedom, and this is totally free. The webinar is free. The resources over on my website are free. You can do a ton. But there are some big drawbacks. Truthfully, it's hard to fail in this space. It's hard to fail on your own. It's hard to keep yourself accountable to that learning and reflection. So a pro tip for you, if you choose to move forward this way on your own, working independently, make journaling a part of your everyday routine. Build in time to research, reflect on what you've learned, capture your goals, and check in regularly to measure progress. Figure out what you want and work systematically towards it. I did this. It's entirely possible. It took me about 1.5 years. Option 2 is you can hire a coach or a counselor to help you work through your transition to positive co-parenting. That's a terrific, sustainable option because we know that support in transition often leads to longer lasting, more impactful results. Think about weight loss. Jenny Craig, Weight Watchers, all of those include some option for support. An expert in your corner can provide that really clear information. They can suggest new behaviors. They can encourage you while you stumble. That option can often be faster. It takes about 3 to 4 months if you meet once a week with this person. But the truth is the cost can be prohibitive. To work with the clients that I work with, a co-parenting transformation, that curriculum that I've developed to work all the way through that costs about $1,300. And they're still doing a ton of the work themselves. That's just for my expert time. And scheduling can be logistically difficult. I mean, I don't know about you, but I can barely find time to brush my teeth and shower every day, let alone schedule in time. So that takes us to option 3, which for a long time didn't exist. You can combine the value of expert guidance and the independence of self-guided learning. That's what I wanted. When I was thinking about this as an expert and working with clients individually, I was thinking, I wish there was a way that people could do this on their own and benefit from expert learning, but not have to schedule it and not have the cost. And spoiler alert, there wasn't a way, so I made one. I created the Total Co-Parenting Transformation. The Total Co-Parenting Transformation is the exact system I use with private clients. It's the one that's transformed clients' co-parenting reality. But it is the private online course. It's something you take on your own timeline. It includes everything we've talked about around learning new skills, designing custom practices, reflecting on your progress, using a bonus workbook and a journal. So it has that custom design practice piece, that reflection piece built into it. But it's done entirely on your own time. The Total Co-Parenting Transformation delivers peace in 30 days, and it's a fraction of the cost of a coach or therapist. It's the best of both worlds. Here's how it works. It's pretty simple. Maybe some of you haven't taken an online class, so I want to be sure to go through it. You enroll in an online private course and you download the bonus content. You don't have to download the whole course, just the workbook and the journal. Then you're going to watch the first module on any web-enabled device. So instead of streaming Netflix, you're going to do a little bit of time on co-parenting. The truth is the course is designed for adults. The modules are short and sweet. Nothing is longer than 35 minutes, and most of them are right around 20. So you can pop in anytime and take a module, learn something new, get exposed to that new information. Then you're going to design how to practice, and you're going to reflect in the workbook. I generally recommend that folks do that the next day or the day after that. So spend 15 minutes on a module, do a little bit of time on practice, and repeat the whole cycle in a couple of days. Most people complete the full course, 11 modules, the workbook, and the journal in about 30 days, but you're the boss. You can binge it all like Netflix late at night, or you can take more time with it, and then you claim your peace. It is honestly that easy. Here's what you'll learn. We're going to talk about co-parenting research. We're going to talk about the grief cycle. We're going to explore biological triggers and manage reactions to ensure success. We're going to reframe you and your ex, set specific goals and measure progress, manage parenting style differences, harness the science behind forming a habit, and we're going to handle common co-parenting pitfalls. Those things that get people off track, we're going to address them proactively. So everything we've talked about that you have to do to transform your co-parenting going forward from today, we're going to do side by side in that course. Here's everything it includes. Those are actual screenshots of the course, the workbook, the journal. It's a 30-page workbook, 11 modules in the course. It's a journal designed to hone your reflection, perfect that practice, and it comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. I totaled up everything that is in this course. If you bought this from me, I could charge you $2,800. Now, that makes me laugh. There is no reason anyone should be paying $2,800 for help, although some of you are desperate enough to do that. Some of you probably might. But my mission here isn't to make a killing on co-parenting. My mission is to change co-parenting. My mission is to bring you peace. Remember when I couldn't find resources? I'm here to change all that. And so the price of the total co-parenting transformation is only $297. It's almost 90% off the value of it. Almost 90% off. And I love that it's less than an hour with most divorce attorneys. So you can spend an hour figuring out how to fix something where co-parenting went wrong. And you know that never takes just an hour. Or you can have sustainable peace for the same amount of money. But I promised you something great if you stayed, and here it is. Today, you can get started for just $89. So for $89 today, and 2 additional payments of $89, you can totally transform your co-parenting reality. If you want to pay all at once, I'll give you a deal there too. You can pay only $249. So on the right side of your screen, you have an offer that has likely popped up. If you can't see it, go ahead and open that red rectangle with the 3 dots. All you have to do is click the blue button that says claim my exclusive offer. That'll take you to a page with an orange button that says enroll in course. You're going to click enroll in course, enter your payment information. We take PayPal, we take credit cards, and you're done. You can access the course tonight. You can start tonight changing your co-parenting reality. I'm going to put the offer for $249 up in a little bit. Right now, the payment plan offer is up there. I said it's 100% guaranteed, and I mean it. If you do the work and don't see results, I'll refund your money. Like I said, I'm not here to make money. I'm here to transform co-parenting. So if this course doesn't do it, I will give you your money back, all of it. You've got 30 days to dive deep into it. And if you're unsatisfied, I'll return your investment. I'll return it. You'll get it back. There's zero risk to this. You have unlimited lifetime access to 11 modules. The course contains absolutely everything you need, everything we've talked about that you've got to pull together to transform your reality. It's happening inside this course. Expert guidance. I'm delivering it to you. We're talking about it. You're taking notes. You're shifting your perspectives in the journal and the workbook. You're making those exercises tailored and custom to you. It is a proven, simple system that works. It works. There are many before you who've done this. Here's what one of the professionals who reviewed the course said. Ann Payne has her master's in social work and is a licensed clinical social worker. She wasn't compensated to do this, but she said, Kate combines best friend level support and therapist level insight with concrete practical guidance for surviving and thriving. She calls it an invaluable resource, but my favorite part is the concrete practical guidance. I'm going to tell you how to do this. It's not just the experts raving about it. This course just launched, but students are raving. I'm not even halfway through, and I seriously feel like my entire perspective on everything has shifted in the best possible way. That's a comment from a stepmom. She's been co-parenting for 5 years and believes that things have shifted in less than halfway through the course. I got a letter from a woman whose husband bought the course. She said, my husband bought your course and I can already see the change in him. He's focused on what he can control and impact and beginning to let the rest go. This course was so impactful for her husband that it was creating peace for her and she wanted to write. This last one might be my favorite. I'm actually annoyed that I didn't have time to finish the module I started yesterday. I try to save 45 to 60 minutes a day to work in it, and the work has been so important for me. Here's someone who's overcommitted. You don't need 45 to 60 minutes a day. But this person is really taking it to heart. Here's everything you get for just 3 payments of $89. $89, and you are on your way to peace tonight. Again, you've got the full access, lifetime access to the course, a 30-page workbook that turns it into a custom workshop, and a journal designed to hone your reflection, make you think about these things, why you're doing it, what you're really here for, and a 30-day money-back guarantee. I'm going to switch the offer now to the full payment plan for those of you who need that one. You can pay $249. Let's do that one more time, shall we? Oh, I'm putting it up, having a little technical difficulty. There it is. $249 for the full amount. The full access to the course, that saves even more. So if you want to save even more and can pay up front via PayPal or a credit card, click that blue button now, click the orange button, and you're on your way. Just enter your information. It's fast and easy. You access it and begin tonight. If you're still interested in the payment plan and didn't grab it, I'll send a link out afterwards where you can get that. I'd love to know your questions. We have a couple. Oh, one about, it looks like one about spending time, that an ex has become really focused on spending time. Yeah, that's often happens in the beginning. Claiming your peace and separating yourself from what your ex is doing can be really helpful there. In my experience, that typically sorts through. The hours and minutes are important in the beginning. Somebody else asking if we offer PayPal. Yep, sure do. Have another question around, currency. Yes, this is all US dollars, but the system will convert. You can keep asking questions. These 4 secrets are game changers. Taking this to heart, that you can co-parent alone, that it's time to tell a new story, being kind to yourself as you learn behaviors that are new to you, being a beginner, and putting some of those interactions on autopilot, forming healthy habits. Those are going to change your co-parenting reality starting right now, if you do nothing else. And what you do next is entirely up to you. I believe that enrolling in the Total Co-Parenting Transformation is your best option for peace. It won't be offered again at this low price. You've got 48 hours to claim those offers, and then the price automatically goes up. Oh, looks like I have a question around that 48 hours. I'm sorry, I cannot extend that. So you have 48 hours from now to claim the payment plan at $89 or enroll for $249. That gives you lifetime access. That gives you expert support and the privacy and individual control of options 1 and 2. End the drama. Claim your peace. Enroll in the Total Co-Parenting Transformation today. You will thank me. Your children will thank me. Your children will thank you, and I thank you for the time you have spent today. I hope this has been super value-packed and rich for you. I hope those secrets change your reality, and I hope to see you in class at the Total Co-Parenting Transformation. I'm going to put that offer up one more time for the payment plan. That payment plan offer is going up. There it is right now. So you have one more opportunity to click the payment offer. You can also click those in the links that I send out afterwards. Again, available only for 48 hours. It will never be offered again at a price this low. Thank you for the time you've spent with me today. Please come see us over at thislifeinprogress.com. I'm happy to hear from you. If you're interested in option 2, working with a coach, I'd be delighted to work with you one-on-one as well. And if you're on your own, choosing option 1, please come over to This Life in Progress for a host of free resources to help. I believe the Total Co-Parenting Transformation class can change your life, and I look forward to seeing you. Thank you for your time today. Thank you for joining me, and I look forward to you claiming your peace.